Mike McCool here with the Rural Examiner. Today I'm at the Warren County Sheriff's Office with Deputy Greg Long. He is an animal control specialist here at the Sheriff's Office, and we want to talk a little bit about animal control. Tell us a little bit, give us a beginning about what is an animal control deputy.
So right now I am the animal control officer for the county. Some of my responsibilities include taking care of the yearly stats for the animals we receive in, maintaining the training hours for the people in the animal control division, and also relaying the current people that are employed with us that are animal control officers.
Right.
Okay. Along with that, we also have a requirement to inspect commercial kennels twice a year. We're required to maintain the status of the dangerous dog registry first. So if somebody has dogs that have been deemed dangerous,
Right.
our responsibility is to go ahead and yearly inspect the facility, make sure all the requirements are being taken care of, and that they pay their fee.
Right.
We also are required to go out and inspect hybrid animals. We
Right.
have several hybrid animals within the county. We're required to go out and inspect those facilities as well during the year.
Okay.
Okay.
So how many deputies do we have that do animal control?
So currently, I am the animal control officer for the county. We have one deputy animal control officer who basically is the same kind of function as I am, but he's not responsible for the paperwork. We just kind of go out and we either do the dogs at large, barking dog, or dangerous dog, or somebody's injured. We deal with the livestock. We deal with agricultural type things.
So it's not just
wildlife.
dogs.
It's every kind of animal.
Right.
We work in conjunction with our Department of Game and Fisheries partners. When they're not available, we'll help handle the wildlife calls.
Right,
if we get an injured deer or a skunk or raccoon or a bird, prey, like stuff like that.
Well, I was talking to the sheriff a while back, and we talked about animal control, a deputy doesn't always have to be the animal control officer, but why do we have deputies do this thing? He mentioned there's a lot of legal things.
Yes, there is. The state mandates that there is an animal control officer appointed for the locality. The sheriff's office has taken that position, and currently I am assigned that role. So that means that we handle all the calls for that, and we are governed under the state veterinarian.
Right.
He mandates our training. And every officer goes through 120 hours of tested training.
Right.
Once you complete that, you're required to maintain a minimum of 15 hours every 3 years to keep your certification up. So that training goes through, and you learn how to do first aid. You learn the different types, breeds, species. You learn the signs of stuff to look for with your approaching animal and how to handle them.
Right.
With the use of the catch pole, snake tongs. We've got books that help us identify different, breeds of snakes for the poison, not poisonous.
Right.
We're trained in how to recognize rabies, and we work with the health department on that end for that. We also work with our partners with fire service with emergency management. We have a trailer that is set up for emergency sheltering. So if we have a natural disaster or man-made disaster within the county, and we've got to shelter a bunch of people and their animals, we've got plans in place for that. We've got a trailer that's loaded with cages, food bowls, ID tags, and things like that, so we can support them with bringing their animals to the shelter so they feel more comfortable leaving their home.
Right. Well, we've seen that down in Florida and Louisiana during hurricanes.
Yes, sir.
All of a sudden they had all these animals.
Yes, sir.
And shelters didn't have any way to deal with them, and so they've adapted now, and I've seen they make some arrangements for
people are apprehensive of leaving their animals home because they're like family to them.
We love our pets.
Yes. So we're doing this to try to help outreach to get these people to go ahead and say, look, we have you covered. We're going to take care of you.
It's all right. Bring your pets.
Yes, because the shelter has contracts with people that they can bring food in. We've got places where we can bring large animals for the livestock. We've got facilities we can bring those to help the farmers out. So we try to be all-encompassing in that.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the vehicle you have here, because I think you look at that, it looks like a regular old pickup truck.
It does. But if you'll note, back here, which would normally have been back seats, we have a cage set up, which is in the conditioned space, air conditioned for transport of animals.
Right, okay.
And you'll see it set up in there, very comfortable for me. Got a mat down in there. I've got disinfectant that we use in between every animal. I spray the cage down to make sure it's a clean space for the next one getting into it. I've got access to them through my inside.
Right.
But that's one of the areas where we can transport.
Right. Because we always complain about animals in cars and the air conditioning.
Yes, sir.
That's something that you guys get involved in?
And I do deal with that. I've got specialty lock equipment that I can go ahead and I can try to open doors if they're locked, and if it comes down to it, all in, I may have to break the glass to get into an animal if it's in distress.
Right. Well, let's walk around back and take a look through the back door. Mark, you follow us around. So you got a lot of stuff in here.
Yes, sir. So back here, I've got another large cage, so I can carry a larger animal, or if I have multiple animals, I can carry them. I can also put small agricultural animals. You go duck, geese, small pig, or something of that nature. I've got cages in here for cats and smaller animals, so I can move them around, put them in different spots of the truck, depending on what I have. I've got catch poles here that if I have a dog that is not being cooperative or scared or is dangerous,
We
trying to
see
be
these when they
aggressive.
get alligators.
Yes, sir. Kind of something like that. So these I can put on the dog. I pull back here, and it will tighten the loop.
Okay.
And then here I can go ahead and release it if I
that's-
need to, so that if the dog becomes in danger, I can release that to let him go so he doesn't hurt
Okay,
himself.
all right, good.
Okay. These are all precautions we take here at the office to try to make sure with all animals are well taken care of.
Yeah, good.
With that, we
How do
also
you handle
have-
snakes?
Well, here it is. I don't like snakes that much, so I
No.
use this pole to stay as far away from them as I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll catch them with that, and with all these animals that we do like that, the wildlife, we can't take them off the property, so we'll release them somewhere else on the property.
Right.
We're not allowed by law to relocate them.
Yeah, I know when I had a snake in my house, and when I lived out in Arizona, the fire department handled the animal control
Yes,
there.
sir.
And they came, they got the snake off my thing, and I just looked down the road about a block away, and they were turning
Turning
it
loose.
loose. Yeah.
Yes,
and they'd
sir.
be right back in my front
Yes,
yard.
sir.
But that's
It's unfortunate, but it's for the habitat. And then we've got these. We use these for like we got a raccoon or a cat or
Right,
something we got to
right.
get, because we had a bad rash last year with raccoons with distemper.
right.
So we were picking them up and taking them to the vet a lot.
Right.
So this makes it pretty good. That way you keep your hands away
Oh, yeah.
and keeping yourself safe.
Well, let's talk about cats.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I got a dozen cats roaming my yard. What's the deal with cats? Because you guys get a bad rap. You don't do anything with
Okay.
cats.
Well, let me say, there's only 3 conditions that we can take a cat into possession. Okay, if it's sick or injured, if it's a nursing kitten, or if it's part of a court case. Other than those 3, we can't take it because the shelter will not take them.
Right.
That's part of our contract with the shelter. They will not accept anything besides those 3 points I
Okay.
just listed for taking the cat.
Right.
Now, we do have a spay and neuter program in place with the Humane Society. They work that. There are several rescue groups out on Facebook and other places that help people with this. I encourage the people, don't feed them.
Right.
Don't feed them at your house. Don't put water out for them. Because when you do that, all you're doing is reinforcing that behavior for them to come back to you.
It's like feeding the deer or the
Yes,
bear,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
All right, so what do you do with deer and bears and things like that? How do you get involved in that?
Well, it depends. If it's a threat or if it's injured, we'll work with DNR to go out there and try to see and assess to see where it's at. The deer, if a deer gets struck on the side of the road and gets injured, unfortunately, due to our area being under the CW, the chronic waste disease area, none of the rehabbers in this area will take them. The
Right.
Blue Ridge Wildlife Rehabilitation Center won't take them. So unfortunately, those have to be humanely euthanized.
Right, right.
Okay.
Well, here's something that people ask me. You're a deputy, so when you're driving your animal control vehicle and that guy's speeding down the road, you can stop him, right?
Yes, sir. I am a certified law enforcement
So
officer.
just because you think they're an animal control officer, don't be.
We catch you off guard like that.
That's what they do with the wildlife guys.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
They're still law enforcement, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So what other kind of things that happens to you during the day that you that people really don't think you have anything to do with? I mean, I'm
Well,
curious because I think it's a broad
It is.
area.
It is. I answer a lot of telephone calls about questions about rabies, or hey, my dog's doing this, or where can I take my cat, or how can somebody come help out with the shelter. We field all manners of calls all day long with
Right.
regards to either a dog at large, or injured cat or a dog, or barking dogs. Barking dogs have started to become
Yeah.
a big one. Neighbors are getting upset about that, and we'll go out there and we'll try to educate, because our biggest thing is we're going to go out the first time and we're going to try to educate you as to what the laws and the codes of the county
Right,
say.
right.
And then from there, we'll move on from there. Secondly, if we come out again, we'll probably give you a warning and try to talk to you. Hey, look,
Right.
we got to try to keep this in compliance with the codes and laws. You're affecting neighbors here or there, or your dog's out running the street, putting people traveling in danger, or putting the dog in danger,
Right.
getting hit.
Sometimes they're barking because there's a problem.
Yes.
And I remember our neighbor, 3 o'clock in the morning, here's a dog barking. Well, he had done wrapped his chain around, and he's right on the,
Yeah.
he was.
And we've got codes in the books for that. They're not supposed to be doing it, because that's exactly what happens. These dogs and the animals don't know any better. They're just going to keep running around circling
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
possibly get themselves tied up or hooked on something and then choke.
Right.
So we try to make, when everybody try to put it on a tether, or just
Right.
have them into a fenced-in enclosure or something like that for their protection and for the dog's safety.
Yeah, yeah. How long have you been doing this, Craig?
I've been with Warren County since 2020, October of 2021.
All right. Okay. You like it?
Yes, sir. I love it. I really enjoy the job I'm doing right here. Animal control is kind of a passion for me.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm, so I've had animals all my life, and I just enjoy being around and working with them. And I enjoy interacting with the public.
All right.
I get to talk to all the farmers. I get to talk to citizens out there daily,
Sure,
roaming around.
sure.
And there's times when I really get to help them, like pulling a snake out of somebody's house that she doesn't
Right,
want
right.
there. She's very grateful for that.
Yeah, you get a lot of good thank yous, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, sir.
I've had snakes in the house, and it's kind of It's creepy.
Yep. Yes,
It's
sir, it
creepy.
is.
It's creepy when you do that. But you're right. It's a lot of work, and I think anything else you want to add?
Yes, I want to let you know that we were just told that we're getting ready to put on 2 more deputy animal control officers.
Okay.
They'll be going to school in November. So we will be putting two more officers on the street to bolster up this program.
That sounds good.
Yes, sir.
That's what we want to hear.
Yes, sir.
All right. I know it's a lot of work, and especially when you got to herd them cows or herd them cats.
We do that a
I think
lot.
cats are you know. And
Actually-
again, some of this stuff's controlled by state law, and
Yes, sir. Unfortunately.
yeah. So,
But
maybe-
you know, the citizens can go out and petition to the county to change codes if
Right.
they want.
Yeah.
And that's their option to try to make that make something
We got,
happen with
you know,
regards to
like I
that.
said, I think the communities come together. We got a lot of good programs that the Humane Society has created some clinics now for
Yes.
helping these cats and dogs.
Yes.
And you know, at a low cost. So I think the community comes together with their pets. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
I think
sir.
it's a great
And
thing.
we are enjoying a very good relationship right now with the Humane Society.
That's good. That's what we want to hear.
Yes, sir.
Well, Greg, I really appreciate all the things you do.
Yes, sir.
Give me a
Thank
good
you much.
handshake there.
Yes, sir.
And we will get back in touch with you in a couple months, see how you're doing. All
Very
right?
good, sir. Look
All
forward
right.
to it.
The Animal Control Officer right here at the Warren County Sheriff's Office, they do a lot of things, and we want to give our appreciation for all the hard work you do. All right?
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
again. Thank you.
You have a good day.